Hey besties, it's been a minute, but I'm so excited to be back today chatting with you all. Since I've last posted, I've been a little bit busy. At the beginning of October, I was a bridesmaid in a wedding for one of my best friends, so we flew to Vegas for that. When I came back, I got very sick, and then the middle of October, we actually had to drive down to Florida because we got married. So we had a 2-day drive down to Florida, got married. That was crazy and just chaos. And then I got sick again, and then we had to drive back to Texas. So we had to drive back, and I was very sick. And then obviously we got back here, still sick. And then finally started to feel better. Was getting back into life and reading and all of the things. And then I got sick again last week. So the week of Thanksgiving. So we're recovering. We're doing better as of now. We got some medicine. We're doing okay. But yeah, it's been a minute. I've been a little busy. Miss Willow, you need to lay down. Your tippy toes are too loud. I need a Kleenex box too. Okay, we're fine. We're just gonna continue on here. I didn't actually end up reading like very many books in October. I think I only read like 2 books, just because of all the traveling, because I was so sick and just everything. So I tried to read more in November. So I ended up reading 5 total books. It was 1,604 pages. I had 1 5-star read, which I'm so excited to share, and 3 4-star reads. That's a lie. 2 4-star reads and 2 3-star reads. 1, 2, yeah, 5. November was definitely a mood reading month for me, and I think you'll be able to see that in the books that I read. That was weird. Actually, that was the second time. So I wrote a script for this video, just making sure that like I knew what I was talking about. And when I first wrote it, I wrote book lovers and not beach read. And then just now, I went to grab the books that I read this month, and I grabbed book lovers, not beach read. So, don't know what that means about me, but the first book that I read in November was Beach Read by Emily Henry. This book completely stole my heart. I gave it 5 stars. Starting off with that. Gave 5 stars. It was amazing. This book follows January, who is a romance writer, and Gus, who is a literary fiction writer. They are rivals from college who end up becoming neighbors and living next to each other over the summer. They are both experiencing a little bit of writer's block, so they decide to switch genres and try writing like the other person's genre. I absolutely loved the banter in this book. And in all of Emily Henry's books, I absolutely love the romance and just the emotional connection between the characters, but also like that I have with the characters. I would say this book has the perfect mix of like fun, like small town vibe things, but also like deep emotions. Both of these characters are going through a lot, and you can like join them as they go through all of these things, but also still like find each other and find love and amidst everything. This was actually the last one of Emily Henry's books that I had to read. So I'm officially have read all of Emily Henry's backlist. This is a book that I did end up like tabbing, and I highlighted a couple things, and I wanted to just like read this one little excerpt from the beginning of the book. And I feel like this sets the tone very well, not just for her writing, but like for this book. And that was the moment I realized, when the world felt dark and scary, love could whisk you off to go dancing. Laughter could take some of the pain away. Beauty could punch holes in your fear. I decided then that my life would be full of all 3, not just for my own benefit, but for Mom's and for everyone else around me. Just beautiful, beautiful, stunning. So highly recommend. Really enjoyed this one. 5 stars, lots of tabbing, very good. Next, I read The Coven by Harper L. Woods. This book follows a young witch who is sent off to a secret magical college, university. She's sent there on a mission to infiltrate the coven of witches and basically get revenge for people that wronged her family in the past. While she's there, she quickly uncovers dark and deadly secrets, and of course ends up chasing the morally gray headmaster that is running the school. Things get complicated. There are a lot of dark secrets that become uncovered and are like resurfacing, events that are resurfacing, and she is forced to confront more than just her own demons, if you know what I mean. So I had this book on my Kindle for a very long time and I didn't pick it up, but I ended up receiving it in my Fairy Loot Romantasy box, and I started reading it before I realized I had it on my Kindle just because the plot and everything sounded good, so I was interested in reading it. I ended up rating this a 3 stars. I loved the gothic vibes. I love a good magical school. I love a good morally gray male main character. The twists were pretty good. However, it's very much a like Kindle Unlimited romantasy vibes. I do recommend if you're looking for a paranormal romance with a little twist. This is a duology, so the second one is also out. Okay, for the next book, it's actually The Cursed, which is the second book to this, so I'm just going to keep holding this one up because I did end up reading that one on my Kindle, downloaded it on Kindle Unlimited, so that was perfect. But again, The Cursed is also being traditionally published, and so it's in Barnes & Noble as well, so if you want to pick it up. Clearly, I liked the first book enough to continue reading the second book, which, I'm gonna be real, doesn't happen often, where I like read the next one immediately. But I did. I can't really get into the summary without spoiling things, but things get chaotic. Things get very convoluted, if you will. I giving this book also 3 stars. Unfortunately, that's a generous 3 stars. So honestly, it's probably like a 2.5, but I'm kind of done giving half ratings. I don't really want to do that anymore. So I'm giving it a 3. I liked the first one better. I think that the second book, they were just trying to like create such an intricate web of things that I just like, we lost the plot. Like we kept the plot, but we lost the plot a little bit, you know? Very chaotic. A lot of things are happening and I felt like they weren't happening, like not everything was happening meaningfully or in a well thought out way. But it was good. It was a fun time. Do not get me wrong. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the story. Definitely lots of spice, but I don't know. Next, I listened to The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. This book follows Vivian, who is a young witch who in this book has to deal with the implications of having cursed or like hexed her ex-boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend is Reese. He is a notorious heartbreaker. He is a descendant of the town's ancestors. And of course, he's annoyingly gorgeous. After their breakup, Reese ends up moving away, and this story picks up 9 years later when Reese comes back to the town to basically like recharge the magical ley lines in the town. What Vivian thought was a harmless little hex ends up not being so harmless. When Reese comes back to town, things start going awry, so they end up having to deal with that, and yeah, it's a good fun time. I rated this book 4 stars. I think I may have rated it like a little higher, like closer to a 5 star, if I had actually physically read it and not listened to it. I was not obsessed with the audio of this book, so I guess keep that in mind. It was fine. I mean, obviously I still rated it 4 stars because I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the like small town vibes. I loved like the banter and the magic system, just like how just silly, goofy fun. It was like a little rom-com. Yeah, it was really cozy. I would highly recommend reading this book during October. That was originally my intention, but I did not read very much in October. So read it in November. It was good. It was fun. It was silly. Perfect for like Halloween spooky months. Finally, the last book that I read in November was Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. This is the 3rd book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. This book was released this month. It came out on November 5th. This book follows Teddy and Gus. If you are familiar with the Rebel Blue Ranch series, then you know Teddy and Gus. I think we were all very excited to follow this story, read about this couple. This is a single dad / like nanny trope. I'm gonna be real, I ate this up, but I eat up all of these books. I ended up rating this book 4 stars, and the only reason that it's not 5 stars is because it's just so similar 2 other books that I've read. If you have read the Chestnut Spring series, then you know what I'm talking about. I think that if I hadn't read Hopeless by Elsie Silver, then maybe this one would be a 5 stars for me. Hopeless by Elsie Silver was 5 stars, and then I read this and I'm like, oh, it's just like the same thing over again, but like still good. So just want to reiterate, this is a great book. 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I just didn't want something that was a replica of another book that I've already read. That is it for today's video. I only read 5 books in November and we discussed them all. I am so excited to be getting back into making videos, getting back into the groove of things. So definitely stay tuned for more cozy, bookish, reading, girly content. Make sure to subscribe if you are interested in seeing more. I also have my Instagram, my Goodreads, my TikTok, all linked down below if you want to stay more up to date with what's going on. And I also have my Patreon link down below if you want to support me and my channel and help me buy more books, because I need books to read to be able to talk about them. But that's it for today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time.